right. Hello again. Welcome to a reading of Ovid and discussion. What do we have in chat so far? Second time trying. I hope the audio is working good. We have Karen Lynn and we have Libra Moon. Awesome. We have sound. Thank you, Karen. So we're going to do a reading of Ovid, Metamorphoses. I did read it before, which actually is good. I read it before we started. Had a cursory glance over it, checked out some of it, and it's got. I've read it before as well, but from beginning to end, it's packed with information. Decodes of the entire world from beginning to Caesar, pretty much. He fits a lot. You have to pay attention to each word. 5x5, right on. Hi, Scott Cervini. How you doing? Hey, Steve-O. All right, we're getting some in here. Awesome. So I asked before how many of you have read Ovid or Metamorphoses. There was a couple that said no, and nobody else responded. So I'm imagining that most people have not read Metamorphoses, or at least heard it. So we're going to do a reading of that, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I was going to share the what we're listening to right now with you. I listened to this while I slept last night. Woke up nice and refreshed. It's 4:32, 5:28, and 9:63, I think. And here is the link to the reading we'll be doing of Metamorphoses. Hi, James. How you doing? Good to see you. So, all right, we've got just as many in here so far as we had before. That's awesome. So, that's the link to Metamorphosis if you guys want to read it yourself. It's a long document. It goes on for quite a while, but pertinent information. Everything in it is classic information about our history. So again, who here has read Ovid? Who hasn't? Let's see what you guys have to say. Trey was in here before, and he mentioned Tiamat, and I think that Tiamat is oddly referred to here. A little bit of a munch. We have Timbits in Canada. They're irresistible, just about, you know. That'll help me reading. You've not read it, but will. Okay. Scott and Steve say no. That's good. All right. So let's get to this then. It'll take me about 15, 20 minutes to read the section we're going to read to start with. So I won't be able to see chat for a little bit. So please do comment, and I'll get to your comments later on it. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Metamorphoses by Ovid, written 1 ACE, translated by Sir Samuel Garth, John Dryden. Table of Contents, first book. The Creation of the World. Of bodies changed to various forms I sing, ye gods from who these miracles did spring, inspire my numbers with celestial heat, till I my long labors work complete, and add perpetual tenor to my rhymes, deduct from nature's birth to Caesar's times, before the seas and terrestrial ball, and heaven's high canopy that covers all. One was the face of nature, if a face, rather rude and an indigested mass, a lifeless lump, unfashioned, unframed, of jarring seed, and justly chaos named. No sun was lighted up the world to view, no moon did yet her blunted horns renew, nor yet was earth suspended in the sky, nor poised did her own foundations lie, nor seas about the shores their arms had thrown, but earth and air and water were one. Thus air was void of light, and earth unstable, and water's dark abyss unnavigable. No certain form on any was impressed. All were confused, and each disturbed the rest. For hot and cold were in one body fixed, and soft with hard, and light with heavy mist. But God of nature, or nature, while they thus contend, to these intestine cords put an end. Then earth from air, and seas from earth were driven, and grosser air sunk from the ethereal heaven. Thus disembroiled they take their proper place, the next of kin contiguously embrace, and foes are surrendered by a larger space. The force of fire ascended first on high, and took its dwelling in the vaulted sky. Then air succeeded in lightness next to fire, whose atoms from an active earth retire. Earth sinks beneath, and draws a numerous throng of ponderous thick, unwieldy seeds along. About her coasts unruly waters roar, and rising on a ridge insult the shore. Thus when the god, whatever god he was, had formed the whole and made the parts agree that no unequal portions might be found, he molded earth into a spacious round. Then with a breath he gave the winds to blow, and bade the congregated waters flow. He adds the running springs and standing lakes, and bounding banks for winding rivers makes. Some part in earth are swallowed up, the most in ample oceans disemboweled are lost. He shades the woods and valleys, he restrains, with rocky mountains and extends the plains. As 5 zones the ethereal regions bind, 5 correspondent to the earth assigned. The sun's rays, directly darting down, fires all beneath, and fires in the middle zone. The 2 beneath the distant poles complain of endless winter and perpetual rain. Betwixt them 2 happier climes hold, the temper that partakes of hot and cold, the fields of liquid air enclosing all. Surrounding the compass of this earthly ball, the lighter parts lie next to the fires above. The grosser near the watery surface move. Thick clouds are spread, and storms engender there, and thunder's voice, which wretched mortals fear, and winds that on their wings cold winter bear. Nor were those blustering brethren left at large, on seas and shores their fury to discharge. Bound as they are, circumscribed in place, they rend the world resistless where they pass. And mighty marks of mischief leave behind. Such is rage of their tempestuous kind. First Eurus to the rising morn is set, the region of the balmy content, and eastern realms, where early Persians run, to greet the blessed appearance of the sun. Westward the wanton zephyr wings his flight, pleased with the remnants of departing light. Fierce Boreas with his offspring issue forth, to invade the frozen wagon of the north, while frowning austere and southern sphere, and rots with endless rain the unwholesome year. Higher o'er the clouds and empty realms of wind, the god a clearer space for heaven designed, where fields of light and liquid ether flow, purged from the ponderous dregs of earth below. Scarce had the powers distinguished these, when straight the stars, no longer overlaid with weight, exert their heads from underneath their mass, and upward shoot and kindle as they pass. And with diffusive light adorn their heavenly place, then every void of nature to supply. With forms of gods he fills the vacant sky. New herds of beasts he sends, the plains to share, new colonies of birds to people the air. And to their cozy beds the finny fish repair. A creature more exalted, of a more exalted kind, was wanting yet, and then was man designed, conscious of thought, of more capacious breast, for empire formed and fit to rule the rest. Whether the particles of heavenly fire the god of nature did his soul inspire, or earth but new divided from sky, and pliant still restrained the ethereal sky, which wise Prometheus tempered into paste, and mixed with living streams, the god-like image cast. Thus while the mute creation downward bend, their sight to their earthly mother tend. Man looks aloft, and with erect eyes, beholds his own heraldry, skies. From such rude principles of our form began, and earth was metamorphosed into man. So that was a lot to our history. Quite a lot in there. I'm amazed. I have not read it, but will. You're back. Okay. All right. It was a very interesting poem, but you just screamed propaganda from afar before time. Okay. That's an interesting take. So let's unpack this. Let's take a look at the first parts of it. So in what I've been learning, the Earth being a dragon. Where did we find that? Where did we find that? We found that in the horns. Her blunted horns renew. Chaos named. A lifeless lump, unfashioned, unfirmed, unframed, of jarring seed and justly chaos named. Let's see. Before the seas and terrestrial ball. I guess that's what you like to think is propaganda, the ball. And heaven's high canopy that covers all. One was the face of nature, if a face. Well, we've seen the face of Tiamat in China. A rude and indigested mass. What an interesting description. Rather, a rude and indigested mass, a lifeless lump, unfashioned, unframed, of jarring seed and justly chaos named. Hey, Queen Peachy, how you doing? Tipping my hat from the dragon's armpit of Texas. Nice. It does bring up a lot, Karen. Now it does say ball Earth. Before seas and this terrestrial ball. So flat earthers won't like that one, but we can look at the masses of undigested, a rude and indigested mass. And it never really got digested. It was fossilized in its own juice. Let's see. So bodies changed into various form. So was our Earth formed or did it form on its own? A lot of the writings say that the Earth was formed by the gods. And we know that Tiamat and Marduk had a battle. Oh, you're stuck on reminder? Hi, Linda. How you doing? It's very small writing on there. I hope you guys can see it. I can't. Kind of. You can kind of see it. I have to keep switching back and forth. Formless and void, right, Paula? So it was an amorphous mass in some of the interpretations. It says it's dead, too. Where does it claim that? I like this part too. Deduct from nature's birth to Caesar's times. To add perpetual tenor to my rhymes. So before the seas, this terrestrial ball and heavenly high canopy that covers all was the face of nature, if a face, not a human face. A rude and indigested mass, a lifeless lump, unfashioned, unframed, of jarring seed and justly chaos named. Very interesting. So no sun was lighted up to the world to view, no moon did yet her blunted horns renew. So her blunted horns, that to me kind of says that the face was probably the face we think, well, I think it is. I don't know your opinion, of Tiamat in China. China. I have to say it like Trump. China. So no moon did her blunted view yet. Earth, nor yet was Earth suspended in the sky. Is an interesting statement. So where was Earth before it was suspended in the sky? Nor poised did her own foundations lie. Now there's a flat earther idea. If the Earth has a foundation, it must be on something, right? Could just be on the ether, but I always like to give some points back and forth on that discussion. Foundation there, the reference to Prometheusly, oddly very timely. Interesting. Yeah, it's a rainy day out in my area, so this is a great day to just do a chat. What was that, Steve-O? I don't know what happened, but it seemed like everybody's a little bit of a piece of somebody else. That's a very interesting view, Steve-O. Yeah, you definitely a reference to lazy people today. Okay, that would be me. I think the Earth is both round and flat. Yeah, I had a theory on that one. If it was a dragon at one time, it would have been a long noodle, and then maybe it went into a circle. It may have been like a donut at one time, eventually kind of collapsing into a ball. But if it's a dragon laid out, that would be interesting. But we should see where there's lava and volcanoes. That's where I think the dragon's throat is, and it seems to kind of be in interesting places. So you got to explain to me how you think it's both round and flat. That's kind of interesting. I like that. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Foundation, pondering that. Yeah. Yeah, put that through your word mind there, Paula. Yeah, I don't disregard flat earthers anymore. There's enough evidence to support all ideas. Yeah, we don't really know, Linda. You know the symbolism of the dragon eating its tail? Yep, that's represented in the sky. There is a dragon in the sky that's eating his own tail. Okay. So when you watch something in nature, in nature die, disintegrate, and watch nature take over. Vietnam fungi and other micro. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Steve. Absolutely. Mars is proof of a big splat. Okay, that's fine, Steve. No, but I'm totally on board with you that. No, I'm still trying to figure out where we put here. Some writings talk of a springing forth from the blood of the dragon. So I'm still trying to figure that one out. I operate it as if it's a ball because it works well with my torus field theory and planets and stuff. That's all. But there's also the theory that the Earth could be much larger. Like the Earth could be a dragon lying on top of another dead creature. You know? I don't know that it isn't. It's like it collected most of the shrapnel. Yeah, in a way, right? Queen Peachy Keen? Like we have the asteroid belt that we have viewed before, and it appears that there may have been a planet there. Vowel A, the vowel to L, yeah. Yeah, right, Steve. Anything's possible, right? Yeah, it's just a perception I have at this moment. Um, if it comes to that the Earth is flat, or we're on a bigger creature, or an infinite plane, or even inside a ball, we could be on the inside of some sphere for all I know. Well, that's interesting, Linda. Some say turtles all the way down. Yeah, the ancient or the Native Americans say that the Earth is a turtle. But I thought that kind of referred more to the torus field of the Earth that he does talk about here in Ovid, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I definitely think that the Earth is a dead creature. All the ancient writings, I could pull up some references from the Nag Hammadi um, easily. For all I know, it's all correct. Yeah, in a snow globe, bottom is flat, but it's a globe because of the dome. Okay, that's an interesting one. I I have kind of I think there may be some type of a bubble or a dome. There seems to be in some images what looks like a dome that they're hitting with nuclear weapons. Yeah, everything else is fucked. Well, you don't have to keep it simple. Yeah, there's the great snake in the sky that's eating itself. At one time, was that actually a giant snake? You know, all of these things we see, all of these zodiacal signs. You know, Aries. Was there a ram in the sky at one time? I don't know. Turtle carries Earth on its back, then Atlas, who shrugged. Good one. A sphere within a sphere, etc. We could be inside inner layers, thus the dome and firmament. I remember seeing that in my old encyclopedias. That's an interesting one. I think it's all depending on what dimension you're on and what's going on. Some dimensions you can receive the Earth as a flat plane, or some you could perceive them as a circle, some frequencies. Okay. Yep, we are in waves of energy. That's why my fingers don't go through each other. It's all made of light, but the fields, the magnetic fields, stop me from pushing my fingers through each other. Right? Yeah, could be like that. Yeah, that's interesting, Steve. Well, it's all interesting, right? All the different ideas and different ways of perceiving um, what we're on. You know, but for most people, it's pretty much unless I'm up there in a rocket and I can see the ball of the Earth. Almost anything can be photoshopped now. Like I could look like anybody with the technology they have. I could sound like anybody with the technology they have. I would have probably popped my noodle if I didn't find Max, didn't think I'm so crazy. No, you're not crazy. We have to think of different ideas. That's what makes the world work really well. And that's why having so many people, is it really? That's why having so many people is awesome, because the amount of thought, the amount of concepts and different ideas floating around, that makes us advance, you know, running into problems, running into issues. Like they're trying to stabilize the world to a point where there's never any issues again. Well, then there'll be stagnation. It'll become a stagnant, useless culture. Absolutely useless. Well, every need's taken care of. I can just go live in virtual reality. Like, what a stupid idea. Yep, that's a good idea there, Libra Moon. Yeah, I like going through the different ideas on what the Earth is in my head to try and figure out, which to me is the most likely. But they're all still in there at a possibility. So let's take another look at Ovid. See what we've got here. So yeah, we had the foundations, which was interesting for Steve-O and me, because good. What is the foundation? What's the foundation made of? So it says, nor poised did on her own foundations lie. She lying on herself, or yet was the earth suspended in the sky. I love the blunted horns renew. That just gives me a point for Tiamat, the dragon. Nor seas or shores. So we're getting into the formation of the earth. In the dark waters abyss unnavigable, no certain form on any was impressed. All were confused, and each disturbed the rest. For hot and cold were in one body fixed, and soft with hard and light with heavy mixed. So it doesn't even seem that there was even any atmosphere or anything at that time, because it does come into that later in the poem. It talks about the mists and then the heavier elements separating from each other, the ether from the gross. Ah, that's an interesting one. I saw a video once, and I wish I could find this channel again. This guy had an infrared camera, and he was watching the sky, and he found there was a crack. Not a straight crack, but there was a crack in the sky in his camera. He moved his camera around. There was no crack there in his camera or anything. And he kept it aimed at that crack for quite a long time. And he kept seeing things shooting across the sky, and they would come up to this crack, and then they would disappear. So were they going through a crack in the dome or the bubble? That's what it appeared to be, you know. It does speak the dual nature of everything being one. Yeah, it's all mixed in one right now. One Earth is one heck of a difficult planet to incarnate on. Yeah, everything being one. The exact countdown to pop the bubble. I wonder if it's to get through the crack. The spheres layered makes sense to me because info about dimensions of Earth, Terra, Tara, and Gaia could be layered one on top of the other. Interesting. Okay. The sky being a holograph is an interesting one. It does seem like there's waves that go across the sky that look like, TV screen waves, or the crack is the Milky Way. That's an interesting. Hey, Dee, how you doing, huh? So I don't know. I'm kind of on the side that there is some type of a barrier, at least, right? Maybe that's to actually preserve the Earth, because what seems to happen is like things like Mars, right? Eventually, the Earth will be like Mars, I figure, because there's atmosphere bleeding off all the time, right? But if they built a bubble, it would be like, have you seen one of those plants in a jar? You put a plant in a bottle, put the right amount of water in there and nutrients, pop the top on, and that plant will just live in that micro environment. you know. Well, that's fine, D. We're discussing all the versions. Um, let's see, did I miss anything? You got to think about it if they've been spraying the skies with heavy metals and small particulates for a long time, and if you can know anything about magnetism and waves about light, yeah. Yeah, they can do holographics in the sky. Maybe the nuclear bombs caused the crack, maybe. It's not a far fetched theory that you can control and manipulate the sky like a big movie. No. Movie screen with the right technology. No. That's possible. They can put planets in the sky. You can hire a company that will put a holographic planet up in the sky for parties and events and stuff. They can put almost any image up in the sky. Yeah, huge hangars have their own weather. Didn't know that. That's neat. Yeah, terrarium, right? This could be terrarium Earth. It would be a way to preserve it for a much longer time. No, me neither, Paula. I'm not attached to the outcome for when things are unveiled. If it's flat, if it's a ball, if it's dimensions layered on top of each other. I think an infinite plane would be a really cool one, because then you just go on forever finding new lands and new people, new creatures, maybe even different density of existence, different ethereal existences, maybe as we move out. That would be really cool. Your Earth will not become Mars? Okay. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. If it's in a bubble, that like a terrarium, that'd be kind of cool. Then it wouldn't. You're ready for the argument? Well, nobody's arguing, but I'd like to. I'd like to know too. I'd really like to know for sure. But they lie to us so much, right? They leave us confused and misinformed. So all we can do is search and try and figure it out ourselves, right? And for me, it's just fun. I like the discussion. I like the different theories. It adds to my own way of thinking. He says the sun and moon in a bubble too. So that goes along with the one aquarium theory, where it's all circles crammed together. Quantum entanglement. Okay. Yeah, that's a neat one. Even the sun, eh? The sun in a. Yeah, an infinite plane would be nice. The only thing that I know is as infinite as infinity this time. How interesting. Yeah, I think that'd be neat. Bubbles around the sun. Hmm. We got something for you here. Grab something. I have an image I want to show you. It'll take me a minute to find it here. There we go. Didn't take too long. Here's an image of what they believe our early universe looked like. That looks like bubbles to me, doesn't it? Doesn't that look like bubbles? I wonder if the matter itself, like unseeable matter, like glass or something, just forms naturally. Maybe maybe on its own. Maybe nobody had to build a bubble or a dome. Maybe it just naturally forms. It's not a weapon. Chinese are building a sun many times harder. Well, they'll never achieve fusion the way they're doing it. It's just a big waste of money, Ocean. At least in my opinion, because they have to drive that fusion themselves. It's not a self-sustaining system. So I thought that image was rather interesting for the bubble. Everything spreads from a point. I don't know about that. Maybe the Earth or the universe formed in a different fashion. Maybe it came as a beer. I explained this before. Hi, Three Fingers. Like a beer coming out of a frozen freezer. Once you crack it, it doesn't freeze from the outside or the inside in. It just freezes all over, just everywhere. So maybe the universe came into existence just because of a magnetic flip, just like that. And magnetics doesn't seem to have, it's thousands of times faster than electricity. So it could have been just a switch flipped. Maybe one particle went negative. Everything was positive, and one particle decided to go negative, and every other particle split into positive and negative. That'd be really cool. It does look like bubbles surrounded by a membrane, like a cell. Exactly, Karen Lynn. It looks like the sacred geometry and art form. Yeah, it does, Steve-O. Cells dividing. Everything spreads from a point. Looks like spirits, says Lucky. How you doing, buddy? I want answers, but once I get them, there'll be more questions. Yeah, if not, I'll be bored as hell. So let's have some unknowns. Yeah, I love the unknown. I think it's amazing, you know? Magnets collected together to metal and clean the things that would explain a lot when it comes to the matter itself. Magnets collect together to metal. Yeah. It seems to be the way nature creates. Siri Yukteswar book, he taught yoga and oh, thank you, Karen Lynn, for tongue-tying me. Every individual particle, piece of matter, has a magnetic pole. to something else, which creates a whole. Well, let's look at the atomic structure in light. That's right here. This I like, and I think Steve-O likes this too. It's got a plane. It has a inertia plane in the middle, and of course it has the positive and negative, right? So the negative is the black, the positive is the white. I was thinking there might have been, the theory goes in my head that everything was the positive, so the white, and then one particle flipped to a negative, and everything else at that point became positive and negative. Some of the ancient writings kind of talk about that in ways. So that's an interesting one too, because I love the inertial plane. So there's a plane going up and down. I don't know if you guys can see that. I hope you can. It's very faint, but it's there. This is just light compressing. So we get that form, and then we get this bubble form in the larger structures, which is really neat. So now how do we coalesce these two forms? There's the atom in form, and here also is the atom in form, right? They're both atomic. They both operate on the same principles. Yeah, all hail cowboy. Hi, cowboy. I hope you're having a great day. I really wonder how it all works when the perception of reality is not perceiving a particle, wave, etc. Yeah, we don't perceive the waves. We don't see them. If you close your eyes and use your third eye, they're actually all around you, but those are the waves coming off of all of this. But not being perceived from a conscious being. All matter and everything acts completely different. See, now I think all energy is conscious, Steve-O. So everything in existence is almost in a way observing itself, maintaining its own form. In one of the previous readings we did, the fundamental force behind creation was desire. Desire caused creation. I believe that was in the Vedic that we read. So the unconscious being, I think all matter, all energy has some level of consciousness, not like ours. But because the Vedic texts say that desire was the foundational force, that is an emotion, desire. It is desire, right? Desire of being, desire of knowing. You can think of anything to desire, almost. I have to check over. I can't see your emojis, unfortunately. Not there. Oh, I am live. I like the butterfly one I had for the first one. Yeah. Well, that's the fun of it, right, Steve-O? We feel the waves, says Karen. Yeah, we do. Unconditional, like Earthship does. Okay. And transmit a huge antenna of love. He wants to chew on your fingers. Aw, cowboy. So that's a lot to think about, eh? The different ways of creation. The Nordic talk about the great cow, where fire and ice met in the great Gunganap. And the cow was licking the gods out of the ice, which is interesting. The ice would be the cold, and the fire. I don't know why that works like that. Blue fire, which we do. You do have blue flames, and red ice. You know, it's weird the way that works. But I like to think of the bubble or the dome. That's an interesting point for me. Do we live in a bubble or dome? That'd be neat. That'd be, what's that? Lieberman? Forming verbs and their derivatives. Down, away, descend. Okay. What you're referring to there, Paula? Descend oceans? Deep woo. See, our early universe interests me too. Those images were of interest to me because of our gigantic size, but it also, of course, has relations to physics. Oh, that's all just COVID. Speaking of frequency, right? There's your, oh, that's 528. Yeah, 528 or 102. Crown chakra. Looks like a torus field from the top, right? Doesn't it? And it forms a round shape. Oh, hit that like button, guys. The far north are the flame bearers. Yeah. There's a nice one of it. So, frequency of this is our DNA. That's the frequency of our DNA. 432 and 528, DNA and RNA. If you play those frequencies, it's supposed to be repairing. In such methods like this, too. The William Rife machine. Not finding the images I want. The cymatic patterns. I studied those for quite a while. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, our perception, it could be entirely, if we perceive it as round, but it's flat, Steve-O, that's a possibility too, right? It could be just our perception. We have round eyes, maybe they're making it look round or making things look even 3D. Maybe we live on a two-dimensional plane. That's a possibility too. A pretty far-fetched one, but it is a possibility. Toroidal, sure, yeah. I'm hoping it's a rainbow. Okay. See now here again, okay, let's take a look at what they say the early universe looks like. This is an interesting one. This one mimics the brain, the neurons in your brain. But then explain the observable planet's transit. Well, there's several ways that is explained through flat Earth theory. I believe it works like I still believe in an open universe where we are planets, but I do entertain the theory of flat Earth. Because until I see, I don't know. I need that one. Ooh, dumping stuff on the floor. I was looking for, and I will find it. I keep getting distracted by other bits of information, though. Oh yeah, here's the layers of the sun that they claim. I think there's a planet in there myself, but that's contested. There we go. There's one of them. I don't believe in this model at all. It doesn't make much sense to me. It doesn't match what we see here on Earth and other planets. And we've seen other planets and our own planet light up with the aurora borealis. So. Getting closer. I have a lot of pages in here. Okay. No, it might be in a different folder. Okay, well, yeah, I like that one too. There we go. That's the one. You don't try. Hey, B. Freeman. Oh, we got lots to say here. Nothing more than everything in the stars. Nothing more than an energy ball that we can't receive. Okay. Maybe that's what he meant. The toroidal that we can use to immediately travel light years. Possibly. Let's see what else we got. Sure does. Einstein had a theory now looking proved folding space. Once you get to astronomy and astrology, flat Earth falls apart. Well, in some of their beliefs, it's not even real. It's a hologram, a reflection in some. It's a very different thing. in their ideas than what we have. Yeah, we can't see the stars anymore, D-Ocean. That is true. Project Bluebeam, we stare at everyday blue skies. Hey, Scott. Then Project Looking Glass, yeah. Don't trust NASA. I don't know. It seems the more I see, the more I can't believe, the more I close my eyes, and the more I believe. There's a big party going on, and we're not invited. Yeah. Still a matrix. Okay. Does NASA translate to deception in Hebrew? You still here, Paula? Yeah, there you are. I forget. NASA in Hebrew. There's Nissan. In Hebrew, what does the word NASA mean? To deceive. There you go. So NASA means to deceive. We party crash or avoid them. Yeah, it does be, Freeman. To deceive. Maja astrology absolutely resonates with Flat Earth because she was an astronomer and then became an astrologer. So she knows something. That's interesting. Silver hazy skies. Yeah. In Ohio, the skies are mostly cloudy. Yeah. They do that at sunset here and sunrise. I keep finding that translation, but I don't have the books to check myself. Yeah. You're welcome, Beefrin. So here was the image that I was searching for. Shows what they have observed, I believe, optically. They have done deep scans into the early universe, pointing a telescope at one spot for many, many, many days and doing deep scans of the universe. They have found structures, these types of structures, in what they believe is the early universe. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't necessarily believe in the Big Bang Theory. Here's the Big Bang Theory from beginning to now. And we looked at various points. One of the points we did look at was the formation very early on, before galaxies were formed. Yeah, Maja for the Awakening. Yeah. They do like these images of our early universe. It doesn't conflict with my theory that we live in a toroidal field. We're just coming out the bottom, in my opinion, of the more magnetic part of the Earth, part of the toroidal field. We didn't forget about Fishbowl Earth. We did that one where we're in a bubble. All your own universal laws, languages, truths, etc., and start my own party. We were just manifest them into existence. Goober meant control of the mind. Nice, Steve-O. Looks like a pyramid. Which one? Oh yeah, the formation of the universe one. It's just they're just projecting it. Yeah, Wi-Fi signal. Yeah, they're just. This one's good too. This one's got more of the bubbles and stuff. One thing they don't talk about much or have any explanation for is what they call a pause in the expansion of the universe. This is our universe now, the electrical connections between the galaxies, solar systems, etc. Mm-hmm. It is, Karen Lynn. Yeah, I've wondered that too, Deocean. Are we just a bubble in water? That's an interesting one. It would explain how a dragon got out in the middle of nowhere, how half a dead dragon got hanging out in space. you know, um, that would make sense to me. And that would be a great place for like these fish, the great fish and the great dragon that fell to the earth or somehow got on the earth. I don't know how they got there, you know. Um, there is the story of the dragon and the fish. And like I think you were saying earlier, all this shrapnel, right? Did we get shrapnel from the asteroid belt? Is that where all those creatures that litter our landscape came from? You know? These are the questions I want to know. Giant brain looks like, yeah, right, Scott? Fishbowl Earth uses, and us fishes even clean our own fishbowl water. Yeah. The deep woo, yeah, that's right. If you want to build your own universe, go to the Ocean's channel. Theory, not thingy. Okay. The Big Bang thingy theory. Same thing to me. If I became big government, told you all what to believe, and you did it, how would you know the difference? I promised I would make it a magical existence, all unicorn glitter, farts, and fairy dust. Nice, Linda. Thank you. That'd be wonderful. The fish people, Phoenicians, settled the land of Palestine as we know it. They were talking about Atlantis on was it Milky Way Soul Tribe the other day. But the predominant theory now, is that Atlantis was in Northwest Africa. And that it washed out. And I kind of buy that theory. It makes sense to me. Here we have a giant fish sitting in the landscape, right? And a giant dragon. But it seems like the dragon was alive when it was on the earth because it's spitting its venom on the fish, at least as it lays there. Would it do that with its last breath? Spit venom on on a fish. If we are layered, absolutely. The outside layer could be water, yeah? Like in water world. We know there is inner earth. How many layers of inner earth? Yeah. Cover Mendes. We each need to build our own way. Yeah. Mind control. Yep. And they lie. They lie all the time. Yeah, it fits the criteria, definitely, the ocean. So they invaded Egypt first, right? Didn't they? I thought they invaded Egypt first. So let's find I. Now, I've heard rumors now that they've found remnants of boats and remnants of docks in the eye of the Sahara. Let's find that. Reshot structure. Now, they say there was a hill or a citadel in the middle. I don't know if we'll be able to find any remnant evidence of that. But you certainly can see what do appear to be like boat slips, places where a boat could have docked. It's a very large area, too. And you can see the rings. There's the center, one ring, second ring, and a third, maybe even a fourth ring. But certainly three raised areas. Haven't seen. He was live this morning, B. Mm-hmm. What's that? Yeah, yes, Libra Moon. Problem is, most want someone to lead them. Not us free thinkers, of course, but most people don't believe in themselves or know their abilities. Yeah. Well, yeah. And you have to kind of think of mental capacity, too. Some people aren't that interested in knowledge, you know. We call it mutual destruction played out by countries threatening nuclear war. Yeah. So mental. Yeah, he was in Friday. Yeah, he was in one of the classes at the end. Uh, you don't want anyone to follow me. I want to show them how to lead themselves. That's right. Looks like a downed spaceship. Yeah, it does. It sure does. They claim it's a fish. So I guess this is. Let's see if we can find fish scales. Would that be fish scales here? Where would fish scales be? Looks like it's pretty rotted out, you know? Maybe down lower on the fish where it hasn't been so chewed up. But most of it seems washed away. So maybe up here by the face. Is that the face or? Maybe. What about these structures here? Could those be fish scales? Look at how they lay on top of each other. Could be gills, maybe? What do you think? Maybe scales, maybe gills? See, the reshot structure is down here. And is that a smaller fish? Or is that the same fish? Or does his body come down this way? So this could be his mouth. I guess he's laying. See, it's hard to figure out with the. See if the fin, if there's a fin up here. Well, they have fins on the top and bottom. The eye is here. So would the mouth be over here? Where's his mouth? Doesn't make much sense because it looks like his body goes here. That looks like an eye, right? Why would you have an eye so far down? Or that could be an ear. Certainly a hole of some sort. What do we have here? That is amazing looking. What are we looking at? This isn't named. What's that? Is that a footprint? Doesn't that look like a footprint? Right there. And the river's washed out the big toe. And another footprint shape. What is this? Everything here looks like footprints. Look at this. This looks like a foot that's stomped into the ground. What are we looking at? Is this mining? What? The Kaliet El Lefa. I'm sorry to take you here, guys. I have no idea what we're looking at here. Is this a mine? It's the strangest mine I've ever seen. It does appear they're mining here. What a strange structure. And why have they left this? What is this large bit in the middle with greenery on top? This is so bizarre. These look like walls. Look at how they're piled up. This is a strange. Are you guys seeing this? Hold on. Yeah, okay. Snout looks pointy facing the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. Camouflage. Dragon is a mountain range. Yep. I see faces and people. It does look like a footprint of a giant. A coroner callus. Yeah. Open mind pit. Yeah. Footprints too. Yeah. See, let's take a look at this. See if these guys are mining that, or if that's just a structure in the landscape. So we had, okay, this one here. That's just a structure in the landscape. They haven't mined this part at all. So that's a possibility. The toes being up here on the top. Hi, Max. What about these structures over here? These do look mined. They look piled, right? So those are big piles that have, that's a lot to pile for a truck this size. That looks like a building, actually. So let's get an idea of size here. We should be able to find a vehicle somewhere or a building. There we go. There's a vehicle, I think. Okay, so we'll call that a vehicle, a truck or something. So this is massive. This is a massive structure. Do you think we could have piled? I think we could have piled that. Look at how many piles there are, though. So are they digging this center structure out and piling the dregs on the outside? That's what this one looks like. Appears like they're dumping. I don't know. It's something to figure out. And there's trees. Or are those piles? No, those are different. Those are piles. So you can see they are dumping here. Yeah. Big dump pile. So what are they mining for? Rich iron? This appears to be what they're mining, this mountain. Compare that mine with the lithium mines on screen. Okay. Oh, you didn't like the fossilized poop? Kind of looks like a flower does. Mm-hmm. Very big furry. Looks like an ancient lithium mine. Could be. No, where's lithium mining? It's a little hard to do things at the moment. I have a furry overlord. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see there. There's one. No, I don't see any in the area, Paula, except for There's one on Africa further west. So on the west coast. Let's see what other maps say. No, nothing there. No, most maps do not have lithium mining in that area. There's one that has some on the west coast. That's it. Yeah, it's a really neat structure, though, whatever they're mining. Let's look at some of, maybe this is more of a natural part of what they're mining. It doesn't look the same, though. It's neat stuff. What are they doing? Are they just driving on that? Or are they mining that as well? That is interesting stuff right there. Looks like volcanic stuff, lots of gems and silver stuff. Could be, Karen Lynn. Looks like an ancient lithium mine. Looks like a raised structure casting shadow. Mines go into the ground, would be dark everywhere. Open pit mining, Scott. That's what they're doing. Yeah, right, Linda? Well, there was a time before the earth was dry, where it was soft and mushy, when the dragon hadn't dried out yet. Probably before the sun came. Shows only 2 likes. Wow. No, I got 12. At 13 now. Yeah, when the Titans could roam around. See, and I think at least in my going theory, the Earth was bigger at the time because it was much wetter inside and out. Then the mists came, and for a long time it never rained, apparently. So there's probably, and we can see really quite easily on something like, I think this will have it, maybe not, but on Google Maps or other things, we can see that there seem to be structures and landscape that's molded in the oceans by giant structures. I like the Gulf of Mexico for interesting underwater structures. You guys want to see some neat kind of stuff. Are they hiding it now? They are. That's all hidden now. There used to be structures here in the Gulf of Mexico, but it appears like they've kind of hidden them over. Now, I don't know if these lines here are what they've put on here, if those are added by Google or the, so there we go. There's some. These always interested me. What are these? I don't know. But there's some very strange looking things in the Gulf of Mexico. What are all these dots? Are those the skin of the dragon? They extend all over the place. It could be just a natural formation from the flow of water, but I don't think so. It's very beautiful and mystifying to me. Like even here, why, if it was the flow of water, why wouldn't it be on just one side? Why is it that there are these dots lining both sides? See the mirror of each dot? Some of them are missing. But that always interested me. Why is the landscape underneath the water like that? Why? It's very curious to me. You can see larger structures similar to the other ones, indentations and bumps. Here's a good example. What are they? What is hidden under these waters? Don't want to show us that. Look at that. Is that all cropland? Did some giant make rows and rows of crops on a flat plain? Better look at chat a bit. Sorry, guys. Hi, Caitlin. How you doing? I haven't seen you here for a long time. I think you've been here before. Yeah. Lithium in 7 Up. Oh, wow. I think Google doodled on the maps. Yeah, maybe. It's in your water. Maybe they're digging into the inner dimensions looking for doorways. Maybe. Shows 8 likes. You're fascinated by the Gulf too? Yeah. Supposedly they are underwater volcanoes, but yeah, I I don't know. They could be. That could be part of the throat of Tiamat, right? I believe that along the throat of Tiamat, that's where we find volcanoes. That's why they go in a row, because the throat goes in a straight line, or goes in a line, anyways, whatever way it goes. Underwater volcanoes. I don't know. You guys believe that? They won't show you any of the middle of it. Nothing, really. It blurred it all out. This area they've gotten rid of all of this pretty much. Blurred right out. It's not like they don't have those images. Interesting holes that they're hiding from us, kind of. Look at how evenly spaced they are as well. Not that evenly spaced, but very interesting structures. And we don't have anything that mimics that above water, right? There's nothing mimicking that type of terrain at all. Just amazing stuff, our planet. Just amazes me. They shouldn't, yeah, exactly, B. Freeman. Or not had signal. Oh, yeah, I thought you played with us before. Bunny hole with dangling carrots. Yeah, it's weird stuff, eh, Caitlin? A Titanic-sized eel eating into the camera lens, maybe. Looks like a vertebrae column. That's an interesting theory. Maybe maybe a lot of the giants got washed into the Gulf during the flood. Maybe these are the backbones of giants. Could be. I do like this elephant structure. Florida being a truck. That's an interesting theory to me. The trunk of the elephant curving around like this underneath itself. You can even almost see like a mouth area here or here. An eye, either here or here. Elephants may have been completely different looking in the past. There are different varieties of them. I think that's what they say. That's one of the theories, Steve-O, that they have for the demise of the dinosaurs was an impact in the Gulf of Mexico that destroyed the dinosaurs. Now, I myself don't see any evidence of that, but maybe this is it. Maybe this could be a spatter mark from the impact if it came in maybe from the north or something. I don't know, but I don't really see what would look like an impact crater. Not to a size that would do much other than ripple the water a bit, maybe cause a little bit of flooding, even shore a bit. All right. Have a good day, Paula. Looked like a pistol handle. Yeah. You got me thinking about the eel idea there, B. Freeman. Wonder if it's maybe like a giant creature that burrows holes looking for prey, right? Right, Steve. I'm on board with you. I think dinosaurs were just big chickens. Were chickens for Adam, who was probably 60 feet tall. Because our atmosphere was probably a lot different in the past. We were probably a lot more like Saturn or Jupiter, with a large, huge atmosphere. It may have never rained on Mars, or sorry, Jupiter or Saturn yet. Maybe they're waiting for their flood, and there's giant creatures walking around. Because if they were 10 times bigger than us, just think about this in perspective. If they were 10 times bigger than us, then the storms that they say are 700 kilometers an hour would be 70, just a 70-kilometer wind, right? So depending on how big the creatures are, that type of a wind wouldn't be such a big deal. You know, the red spot would be just a thing that goes by every day or whatever. And they may have big chickens running around that we would consider look like dinosaurs. Wouldn't it be neat to be able to travel to that place? You'd be like a fly, you know? If we could build a craft that could travel into that atmosphere, who knows what we'd see? Some scientists believe that there are creatures that live in the atmosphere, like balloon creatures that use methane or other light gases to stay suspended in the atmosphere. We now know, we know what's aliens off the coast in the deep waters. Now that's got to be the narrative. Okay. Sea monsters are maybe a civilization. Yeah, when I first saw them, I wondered if they were maybe like underwater houses. You know, it would be a good place to live. Especially, say, if you were a giant, because you would have the increased pressure to maintain your size and your health. If a giant came up here, they would have a hard time breathing. Even deep sea creatures, when you bring them up, some of them practically explode because of the depressurization, right? And we've got stuff like this, roads running through the sea. And we here, look at this. Where else do we see this? We see a pattern, right? And there is actually an example of that on land, of that pattern. It's in the Peruvian mountains. And there's what looks like a smaller version of this pattern of indentations. Now, I don't know if this looks like bumps, but the pattern is very similar, if you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know if I'll be able to find that structure, but I believe it's in the Peruvian mountains. I think if we get enough views together, I think we can hitch a ride with each other and we're all there. Yeah. We'd be smudging. Sea monsters or civilization. Yeah. Great idea, Steve-O. You guys remember that pattern in the Peruvian mountains? Right, Travis? How you doing, buddy? Huffy bicycle tire tracks, right? One day the chickens could revolt. Yeah. Got barbecue sauce waiting, right, Steve-O? Right, in perpendicular lined. Hey, Steve-O, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. We're just looking at the Earth and the various structures on it at the moment. We were doing Ovid's creation, so this is kind of in line with it. We found at the bottom of the ocean some structures that look like the patterns in the Peruvian mountains. Those, you know, the tracks, they're indented tracks in the Peruvian mountains, but these ones appear to be bumps, kind of the opposite. Very similar, like in the pattern, except the Peruvian mountain one is bumps, and this one is holes, and this one is bumps. You're looking at other things too. Right when the chicken revolt happens, they're already culling them though. So yeah, I hope you guys have seen the images of those tracks in the Peruvian mountains. I think they're near the Nazca lines in that area. Yeah, there's some weird shit on Google Earth. Yeah, we're just exploring. So I always thought that was neat. Look at that. What is that? See, it even got all these bumps along here. Is that skin? Is it again like that tracks? I don't know. More tracks. These are different. Let's see what they do. Looks like they've been washed over. They don't look so even, but it could be a track. Who knows? Could be cropland for all we know. There are areas of Africa that look like giant cropland. Let's see what we can find over in Africa. Now that's in the south areas, somewhere around Chad. Everywhere you look on the earth, it's something, right? Everywhere. Lake Chad. Let's see what Lake Chad brings us. That is some strange looking landscape. Let's see what your landscape looks like. What is that? That's interesting. How close can we get? That's it. See all these lines coming out from up here. Back out a bit. This structure interested me. What is this? This is a totally uninhabited area. So what are all these holes? There's holes all around encircling this red structure. Everywhere you look on our planet, you find something. This is in Mamdi. Okay. Very bizarre. And what is this? Is this just waves? This looks like scales. That definitely looks like scales. Doesn't that look like fish scales? What do you guys think? How big is this structure with all these scales or whatever it is? It's big. So that's around 20, 30 kilometers across the lake, maybe more. Lake Chad. Huh. Looked at similar structures before. Doesn't this look like scales? Huh. Could it be a fish? Yet another fish. There's a spillway right there. You can see how the waters, or when this was an inland sea, where the waters might have broken through. I think here we have salt deposits, it looks like. Very scale looking. What are we looking at? This is that a bunch of fish? I'm seeing like eyes everywhere. Here, here, here with gills. Is this a pile of fish? A fish shape here? Let's go and look. Oh, they won't let us get close. Is that a pile of fish? Dead fish? That could have been where the waters dried up and the fish died. I don't know why I'm seeing eyes everywhere. It looks like there's eyes everywhere. And they won't let you get in close enough to look at them. Very pixelated. That's incredibly pixelated. And hidden. Look at that. I'm seeing fish everywhere. Am I just having pareidolia, fish pareidolia? Is that what's happening? Or is that fish? I'm going to remember that structure for later and take a look. That would make sense. If this is a bowl area and the oceans or the seas, the inland sea washed out this way, coming across Africa, all the way out to Western Africa. Is that a pit of fish? What do you guys think? Let me check chat here. Go to the South Pole and click on it. Go to Street View. Okay, we'll do that. Undersea transport. Did you just find a fake the moon landing, but I lock your windows and set your alarms? Those look like fish, Karen Lynn says. Looks like fabric. 333. Scales, Karen Lynn says. He's filling in for Scotty Boy best I can. Thank you, Karen Lynn. H.P. Lovecraft for some reason. Cool. It looked like gills on a shark. Let's go back in and take a look. I'm going to remember where that structure is. Absolutely. That's a very strange structure. And it looks like fish. Looks like a whole bunch of fish. See, we're getting an eyeball here. What a bizarre thing. See, they hide it. They're washing it out on us. A lot of it does look very scaly. Very cloudy. Very interesting structures. It does look scaly. What's that? A dot in the middle of nowhere, eh? That looks like kind of like a hole, though, too, doesn't it? And very scaly looking. I would love to see this area, like in detail. All these little bumps everywhere. Do they have any names for any of these structures? Not that I've seen so far. No roads, no cars, not a single luxury. Like Robinson Crusoe. Primitive as can be. Very weird stuff. I see a tunnel entrance. Yeah, it looked like that. Does look like scales and reptile skin. My fingers are all over. Oh, your phone died? I'm glad you're back too. Yeah. Then I got high. You see fish too. She panned out, looked like gills on a shark. That's neat. It's just so much fun to look at Google Earth. Just looking at our planet. Just amazing. So is that a big pile of fish? I don't know. It looked like it. There's another hole. Let's go see if we can find that hole again. Well, we might have lost the hole. Look at those. Those are huge dunes, I guess. Very strange for dunes, right? Because it's not dunes. Those are permanent. They look more like they're piled, like mining, don't they? Or washed over, maybe. Could be buildings under there, or the remnants of. We have one with a different type of line going across. Could that be a wall? Maybe they were houses and they were washed out. I don't know. Neat. See what we find. See, those are probably salt deposits. We have no. Oh, see, look at that. That same landscape, pocked or scaled or whatever. I don't know. I think that's the remnants of fish. Yeah, those are ancient dunes, maybe. Yeah, right, Linda? I'm having a great time. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself too. You have a cute lizard living around your pomegranate plant? Nice. Be back in 1 second. I'm going to chew up. And it's nice to have people to hang out and look at Google Earth with. I love the input you guys have. And I love just hanging out with you and talking about all kinds of stuff anyway. Different perspectives on stuff is awesome. So, Steve said to go to the North Pole and do Street View. Okay, and wait. I guess we wait. We're not getting anything, Steve. Let's try a refresh. Steve, what have you done to us? Where'd you go? Did you take off again? I don't see you commenting. Fish or one large dragon, maybe? What if it's reptile skinned dragons? That scales, yeah. Went to Switzerland last night. Ever see 25 old guys trying to act cool while thinking everyone there is trying to stick him in the back? Uneasy, certainly just plain scared. Yeah, right, Scotty boy? How you doing? You're back? That's good. Good to have you back, Steve-O. Had to jump over and see how much Control was doing. Okay. No, I'm not getting... so the North Pole is not coming up for me. So I can't get Street View on North Pole. We got nothing. Photos, that's all we got. So we'll take a look at that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's sleeping. Yeah, they're not going to show us anything, really. That's not the North Pole. What city was that? There's some of the real images. Okay. Why are they having all this other stuff? Okay, well, anyway. Oops. Let's go back to maps. Won't go to the North Pole, eh? Let's try satellite. Nope. No, won't do it. Let's go. Let's go back to the reshat structure, see if it'll work for us. Yeah, working just fine there. Okay. All right, Caitlin, you have a great day. South Pole? Okay, let's try that. You might be right on that. Okay. You guys seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah, you are. There we go. So there's our view of the South Pole. The WHO meeting, yeah. Dreamed of Jersey, still weird. Let's see. Yeah, you have a great day, Caitlin. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. So what's happening here? I'm getting nothing. I back out. Nothing. Go in. Nothing. Street view. No, this is not working. ATMs, pharmacies, parking. Nope. It's browse street view. Will drop me there. Won't let me drop. Won't give me anything to drop on either. No. Just not going to do it. Maybe in Google Earth it would. This is maps we're using. Okay, we'll drag and drop the person in the middle. No, won't go. Try Google Earth Pro. Okay, let's give that a go then. Okay, let's share that screen. I think I'm on the right one, but we can back out of that. So, okay, Google Earth Pro, satellite in real time, Earth versions, Google Earth. I'll take that. Web, launch. Yeah, we have to give it a minute. Been a while since I played with Google Earth. Hi, Max. How you doing, buddy? They probably expect someone looking into their funky dealings. Yeah. You got a call, Steve? Okay. You get smacking down when you get in there. Just takes a while for my computer to get it going. So, okay, so it should be usable at the moment. Search. South Pole. Okay, you knew what I meant. Max is the string puller of the free world. Maybe. I don't know. He might be. I don't know if this is still loading. Swiss fear. Yeah, we looked into Davos last night. Secrets they were keeping. I'm not seeing much come up here on the South Pole. Let's see what we can get. South Pole, geographic South Pole, terrestrial South Pole, or 90th parallel. Okay. Nope. It will will not let me drop. No, no dropping allowed. I wonder if we can get a better image of those structures we were looking at. So again, it won't let me. Max is the leader for sure. Yeah. He tells me what to do all the time. Any idea what's being asked of them? Yeah, murder suicide, pretty much, I think. Scotty boy. Uneasy, pull in fear and uneasy mostly, but it's all weak. I was wondering, they plan for the destruction of mankind and the eternal life in the metaverse, and I wonder if they're catching on that that's a scam. You know, if they caught on, the cat that is, yeah. Couldn't get in there at all. All I could do was pull in the feelings. All I could pull in fear and uneasy mostly, but it's all weak. So I'm going to go into individuals later. Okay. Yeah, I could imagine the fear, Scotty boy, the fear of you know what's actually happening, their exposure. Um, See a mountain range looks like a huge chicken. Try the area at 12 o'clock, and you can start seeing some peculiar stuff. The area at 12 o'clock. Okay. You mean drag and drop? No, I'm not getting anything. If I spelled it right. Give it a moment. Well, it's got me spotted there on the Earth, but it click to zoom to space. Okay. Let's just go in on it. Maybe that'll work. Oops. Come back here. Grab. Let's go. It's very slow on my computer. Okay. So they have two South Poles there. At least it seems like. South Pole, South Pole. Okay. So there we are. Let's see what we can do. It's very slow at the moment. But I am seeing some interesting structures right away. Polenta or Palaf. What's that? Shot them in the left eye or right eye. Okay. Your cat does too? Oh, thank you, Carolyn. We were doing Davos, the images was seeing and feeling. Pan out and go to what used to connect to South America. Hold on, we will. We'll just keep that in mind for me. There's a false sense of pride in thinking that they're worth any more, yeah, than any other. It's going to be their demise one by one. They'll do each other in. So smart, makes them not see the obvious. Right, Scotty boy? Yeah, that's true, Scotty boy. Okay, so let's go in and try this. So, I don't know why my guy is sitting there. Try right on top of it. And it's letting me go in. Okay, we are going in. This will take a bit. Chugga chugga. Okay. Um, okay, some weird stuff, yeah. Okay, guys. This is the South Pole. What's that symbol? What are we looking at, guys? There's a camera. Juridical. It's awfully cramped in the South Pole. Um, Juridical. Juridical. It's Portuguese. Departamento Juridico. Legal department. See full definition of juridical. Juridical, legal. Not comparable, pertaining to the methods and infrastructure for enforcing the law. Juridical in Antarctica. All right, Steve-O, you have a good night. Okay. So, what do you guys think of the South Pole? um, I'm I'm befuddled. And if we could get more detailed images, we could get the names on those documents over there. There's the director. Okay. Huh. What is that symbol? Does anyone know? Wax rings are your friends. Okay. Yep, they are. Beeswax. You better have one, yeah. Right? You should call them and ask, Steve. Yeah, right, Linda? Why the legal department? And the Portuguese legal department. This is a Portuguese word. Juridico. And this symbol. Yeah, it's wet out here today for me, Scotty. Oh, looks like it's dried up. Nice. Went for a walk last night, but it's still pretty cool outside. Hi, Tanya. We're looking at this is the South Pole Street View. Um, that's what it is. We are on the South Pole Street View. And now it's glitching out. Okay, so we get out of that, back out of that. How do I get back? I just press back. No, that didn't work. It's a Delta 360. I don't know what that is. Capture this view? No. I seem to be stuck. There you go, Max. Let's go back this way. Try a different street view on that. Doesn't that look like a snake's head? Eh? Hold on. Well, before we do that, who asked to go to the tip? Hourglass sideways. Yeah, infinity symbol. I've seen it somewhere, but not sure. Try Google Lens. Where was that? Hmm. An eel's head? Okay. You'll have to retype that message, what you wanted me to look at the tip. Okay, so we'll go Street View just to the north of it. Oops. Spin back. Okay. Capture it. Come over this way a bit. There we go. Exit Street View. Okay. Nope, didn't drag them. So do I just go in close or what? Let's try that. Big cross there, eh? That's bizarre. We keep going in. Okay, I think that's as far in as we can go. Let's see if we can drag. Why does it say exit Street View? Why can't I get to Street View? We were able to before. Exit Street View. Hmm. 2D. Let's see what that did. Nothing. Okay, I think I've just totally messed this up. I went in as close as I could get, Carolyn. Now it's just doing some weird thing. And my computer's very slow. Let's see if we can stop this from doing whatever it's doing. Okay. So I'm trying to go in closer, but I'm not. We're not getting in any closer. Oh, we might be. Nope. Let's back out and see what happens. So yeah, I don't get what happened here. It's not letting me do anything anymore. Let's try. Let's see. South Pole. Go there. Let's see what you do. Not having much luck here. Click to zoom or fly to place. Try that once again. Oops. Stop wiggling. South Pole. Okay, we'll go in just to the north here. So we see dots appear and disappear. There's that circle appearing again. Across. Let's see. Won't let me drag and drop that anymore. Why won't it do that? See, I can't see anything, guys. Got any Google Earth is funky. So let's go to let's go there. I want to check something out. See if it's a better image. Hi, Max. Okay. And we're spinning. Why are we spinning? Stop that. Let's see where we are here. Looks like we're near the middle of it. Very deep though. Okay, that is the middle of it. Let's take a look at the structures in the middle. This one's interesting. Doesn't that look like a framework for a house, maybe? Or a big structure, building, harbor, pathway. I don't know. See, that's the reshot structure right there. But what is that? Could be a house. Where are you guys? There you are. Vibrating. We're talking a lot about vibrations here. Those mountains have pyramids with capstones in place, and dragons too. A lot of foundation work. See an alien face. Cool. Google Earth. There we go. Now, I was wondering if we could get a better image of those fish-like structures that we saw. The detail in this is amazing. And you can even see again salt deposits here. I wonder if there's fish in these ones as well. Let's go in and take a look. Let's go in a little closer. No, not that easy to see. It does look like the other structures as well, kind of like scales. What we'll do is we'll go over and look at that area. Oops, got too far. Okay. I'm a little disoriented on this, but where are we here? Oh yeah, we're on the other side. Okay. So we're looking for those white washed out deposits. I'm having a hard time orienting myself. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's spin this. Click to reset view. Okay. Now let's see where we are. Okay, there we are, by Libya. So we want to go down this way. Right there. See if I can get a better image of what we saw there. Looks more washed out at the moment. Okay, there it's clearing up. Okay. So let's go in and see what we see here. Is it a more detailed image? It is much more detailed. It seems like at the moment. Let's see how close in we can get. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We're getting to the what looks like the scaly bits. Is this going to clear up any better? Or is that the best this image gets? See little bumps everywhere. Are those plants? Could be. And it gets out of focus. Give it a minute. My computer is slow. Nope. So that won't clear up. That's as best as it gets. Let's take a look around. Back at these structures here. Now, was that the hole there? Seems to be working a little faster now. I don't know what that is. It's a very strange, swept looking landscape, eh? What are you guys saying? Maybe a space bunny. Gold mine, Gina Davis. Were there alien titans? I don't know. New game system? Ugh. I don't use that type of thing. I used to. I used to have, I forget even. One of them. I had one of them. I don't know what one I had, I forget. It's kind of neat. Very rugged looking landscape. What is all this? White stuff. Or clouds, I guess. You know how tall those structures are, or it's the time of day they're taking the image or the picture. What are all these areas here? Is this just a big salt flat? That's as close in as I can get. A strange structure. Why is it so blurred? Is that maybe showing a fish or some other creature? You know, why are they hiding so much? Look at it all blotted out. Bay Area believer. It looks like what sand looks like after the water goes back, after washing up. It does, yeah. Nice to have you here. Everyone say hi to Bay Area believer. I don't think we've seen you here before. What's the obsession with fish? Well, not an obsession, but curiosity. There's the giant fish, and what we saw before, what looked like fish scales, um, fish eyes. I can't find that area again, though. But yeah. Well, hello, barrier believer. We're looking at mud fossils. I don't know if you've heard of the theory before, where the landscape is made of creatures. Metamorphoses talks of this as well. And that's what led us to being here. One on the far left looks like a TR3B. Megalodon or the dreaded Kraken. Yeah, maybe they're hiding the Kraken. But yeah, this is not a really clear view, eh? Like they're really mucking with the water here. This part's pretty clear. So are those just salt flats, you think? Or are those hidden areas? Could be. See, these certainly look like dunes of some sort. We saw other areas that looked like it was piled, like it had been mined. Let's see if they get a close up in here. That's pretty good. Could be a lot clearer, though. We know they can see everything in minute detail on the Earth. So the theory goes that there was an inland sea that washed out, and Atlantis, being on the Reshat structure, got washed out. And that looks like salt deposits in a basin. So probably the remnant of the wildlife lived in that spot and other cavity areas. But the great fish, I don't know how he got here. Right? How did the great fish get here? And the dragon. It's a big puppy. Field of petrified whale carcasses. Could be. That's a kraken. Don't release her just yet. I wonder what's underneath too. Bay Area believer. I think we live on half of a giant dead dragon. At least that's what the Sumerian texts kind of say. Broken left hip again. Oh, and right femur. Love that dog, but she hates the cat family. Looks a little like Jimmy Hoffa. No, I don't think they ever found Jimmy Hoffa. Dine and Dash, yeah. So the reshot structure is interesting. It looks like the fish extends all this area here, right? The giant fish and the dragon. Let's see. Have you ever seen that? Any research on that? Bay Area believer? If you go to Mud Fossil University, he talks about the dragon and the fish all the time. So the theory goes that this area here is the fish, with the reshot structure being its eye, and that up here we have a dragon spitting his venom onto the fish. So this is the dragon's throat. I'll go into the dragon's head first. So you can see that. Let's see if it's better on Google Earth as well, if you can see it better. So supported by the theory, Bay Area believer, this is the dragon's head running along the throat, along here, with the various frills of the dragon down. It's a very long throat. And this is the mountains of Morocco. So we end the throat down here somewhere, and he begins into the body. But I like showing the venom. The venom is really cool looking. So let's get to the dragon head. So supposedly this dragon and the fish, there's an ancient story about it. And the dragon is spitting out his venom onto the fish. And this material down here, if you look at venom in a microscope attacking flesh, it appears very similar to this. Let's see how good of a view we get. Yeah, getting good. So if you look at a microscopic view of venom attacking flesh, it's very similar to this. All the spiralies sticking out, little tendrils, eating the flesh. It's an interesting theory. I love it. It is, yeah, it is kind of crazy, eh? So let's take a look at the fish being eaten, some of his flesh. So you can really see it in like this area, how it does look like, oh, we're spinning. Stop spinning. How it really does look like venom eating at the flesh. Yeah, it's just it's amazing stuff, I think. So let's go out and take a look. I don't know how I spun that, but that'll disorient me quite a bit. Oh, not too bad. Okay. So there's the dragon. The North American one is much easier to see for a lot of people, but the fish shape is pretty easy to catch. You can see that like a fin shape up there. I don't know if that's the tail or the head. It's hard to figure out. The eye of the that structure is supposed to be the eye of it, and it's down over here. It is a beautiful view of it on this. So the claim is that it was Atlantis and that there was an inland sea washed it out. I don't know. Seems like a pretty plausible theory to me. Yeah, I haven't seen Zoe for a while. Looks like Roots. It does, Bay Area believer. Yeah, where's Zoe? Was odd to see Paradox without Zoe. Yeah. So the reshot structure is really amazing looking. Some people claim, or I've heard claims that they found boat slips and remnants of boats in it. I don't know if there is or not. It'd be really cool. Okay. Was there anything else you guys wanted to look at? Yeah, it looks like veins too. Oh, let me show you the North American dragon. Well, one of them, anyway. So the dragon on Morocco, I'll go over him first. He runs all the way down. This area here is his body. His legs are down here, quite big, the legs, and the tail running all the way to Eastern Africa, all the way out here. You can even see some of the what look like frills on the tips, maybe here. But you can follow the line of them all the way up. his spine. And he even has a cut in his neck or his throat. Oh, and the venom injectors. I haven't shown you that. Those are cool. Just go over. So dragon's breath. Let's go in. There we go. Roger on Mud Fossil University believes that the dragon's breath was created by two separate liquids being mixed together in the throat of the dragon. And here we can see in the throat area, this is the throat, very long, what look like these injectors with two colored of ingredients, a greenish colored part to the venom or dragon's breath and a red part. You'll see when we get in close that it does look like there are actually injectors in the throat putting this stuff in. Let's see how close in we can get. Really close. So here would be the area where it mixes and goes up the throat, comes out as venom. All right, Bay Area. Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing. Now you see it better. Yeah. That's quite the truth bomb there, Libra. So let's go look at the North American dragon just quickly here. I like the frills along his back too. You can see. I don't know if these are the frills or these here. These look like they might be uh, the frills that run along the back of the dragon. No, I have to ask Roger. You got your joint rolled there, Bay Area? I'm going to blow your mind if you haven't seen any of this. Let me blow your mind. Okay, it's frozen up on me, of course. Come on. Give it a second. Okay. Here we go. We'll search for something. Let's go for Washington. That'll do. Okay. Hopefully you're there, Bay Area. This one's easier for some people to see, harder for others. So let's go in. I'll take you right into the dragon's head. So here's what's supposed to be the dragon's head. Image clear up. Haven't been here today. Oh, you off, Linda? All right, have a good night. So, I don't know if you can see it or not. Over here. So this is supposed to be the dragon's head here. We can see it going up and over the neck. Here's where the neck starts in this area, coming up and over. I'm going to back out a bit. Check how I'm centered on here. Now this dragon the body isn't as clear to see. It may have wings, this one. This may be a wing coming out, but we can see the serpentine body coming up, around, and it goes all the way up to Maine. And up in here we can see the frills of the tail. Similar to the other one in Morocco. You see these same forms. Very similar forms in Morocco. So that could be the tail or the feathers of the serpent. And oftentimes when looking at mud fossils, we look for holes because that'll have, in the holes is where like eyes, nose, mouth, ears, that type of thing is. But we also find things like bum holes and cloacas like they have in birds. And apparently, if you go to Mud Fossil University, apparently this area here is the cloaca or bum hole of this particular dragon, where we see water. Often we find places that are orifices. And here we see water just coming out of the land. And we're in DC, the District of Columbia, the butthole of the dragon on America. This is so silly, says Beloved. Where's the eye? Okay, let me see. Libra Moon. Where's the eye? Let's see. Let's go and find the eye. Okay, so we would have here is the nostril area up here. They had roundish snouts. If you saw that on the one in Africa. So again, we look for holes, right? So on the snout, we'll find a hole somewhere in here, one of these areas, probably some water, either coming out of it or going in. Let's see what we find. We often find circular areas too. So there seems to be water in a lot of this area. Is there any big body of water? I haven't done a detailed search of the nostril and seeing some of that similar movement. No, I'm not seeing a big hole or anything. The whole area could be the nostril. There's a hole. Hold on. There was a hole. There's some water in it. A couple of them. Okay, so a few holes there. And some water. Let's out again. Okay, let's see if we can find the eye. So I think that's a good possibility here. Pull it down a bit. So one of these areas here, I think this one is a good candidate right here. Or this area just up to the north. There's some very circular. What is that? Is that a pyramid? Arkansas. Hard to say. That could be the eye area just to the north there. Is it wet? Looks like there's water or a waterway. Maybe. Yep, definitely some water here. Okay, so this is a likely candidate for the eye area because of the water. So that's a bow lake. Which way is that flowing? From the north. Okay, so that's the Mississippi. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if we successfully found the eye, but found a good candidate. One of those two areas. Big old hole. Weird, right? It is weird, yeah. So many gators. You could show me a big hole. Gators could be descendants, maybe, with an narrow urethra. Yeah. Don't take it all that seriously, either, Bay Area. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. I don't. I don't push it either way. Yeah, it makes you think, right? If it is a dragon, how the hell did it get there? You know. And here's what. Oh yeah, we'll show you one of my favorite, my absolute favorite, really, because I go by the theory of the Sumerians that the Earth is probably a giant jet dragon. Go the quick way. Go right to the land of the dragon. Oh, and it's centered nicely. Beautiful. Okay, so this could be the face of the dragon. I don't know if you can see it. So what we have, if you can see my cursor, is right here where they pinpoint China would be the dragon's mouth. That would be the mouth, and to the left of it, or the mouth just above it, and to the left of it is the nostril of the dragon. If you run along that ridge, which would be the brow ridge of the dragon running up to the northeast, you'll see the eye of the dragon right there. And on the dragon, we can also see the dragon beard and jawline. This being the jawline of the dragon here. And this is his beard hanging down. Or her beard, actually. Her name would be Tiamat. And this would be her mouth right here. The other nostril is buried, I guess, under here somewhere. So if you even go up her forehead, we can see what could be horns in this area here, and mirrored over here in this area just behind the eye. Let's see what you think of that. The mountains that look like huge cut down trees, yeah, like Devil's Mountain. Or was it Devil's Peak? What do they call it? Yeah, that's huge, right? So that's, according to the story of the Sumerians, half of a dragon, Tiamat, fought Marduk, or sorry, a dragon named Marduk. Sorry, a dragon named Tiamat fought Marduk, and Marduk cut Tiamat in half, and that half of Tiamat was used to make the earth. So, maybe. When I look at that right there, that beautiful image, it looks like a dragon head to me. It really, really, really does. Oops, too close. So it is something really interesting to look into. You know, is our planet half a giant dead dragon? A dragon named Fluffy. Beloved doesn't like the theory. That's all right, beloved. We still love you. It is a really very interesting theory. Could that be the face of Tiamat, the dragon? And if it is, how did the ancients know that? How did the Sumerians know that the earth was a giant dead dragon? I don't know. Where art thou, Fluffy? Yeah, Devil's Tower, that's right. Can't see your emojis, unfortunately. Let's see here. I do like the emojis, they're fun. But in StreamYard, they just don't show up. I love showing people that. That's thank you for that, Bear. Mind blown. I got you. You see another dragon? Where? Poor Tiamat, right? And if so, are the tides just its breathing? They claim it's dead. It's a dead thing. That's what Christ says. in the Nag Hammadi scriptures. Who just discovers the world, discovers a corpse. Tiamat did get dead. So what's my theory on that is that the earth is in the process of drying out. That happened. If you have a body just sitting there, eventually, if it's heated up, it'll eventually burst. And I think that was the flood. Which is an interesting theory because the flood killed the giants, and that could be. It could be she's breathing. Could be the moon. Could be breathing. Some people say she's alive. That'd be horrible if she decided to wake up and started moving. We'd all be like fleas on a dog, right? And just shook right off. I hope it's dead. I hope, like they say, it's a dead thing. I wouldn't want her to be alive. I think there might be living things in her. There might be eggs. There still might be dragon's eggs inside the earth. I don't know. There could be. Or on another half of her somewhere. Mother Earth is definitely a living being. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of shaking going on recently too. Tiamat got blowed up. Well, maybe the asteroid belt. Maybe Tiamat came from the asteroid belt. Maybe that was a huge planet at some time. I don't know. I don't know where Tiamat came from. There's so many mysteries to it, right? But when we look and see something that definitely looks like a dragon face to me, it makes me wonder. Kablam. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. We tried to remote view the battle between Tiamat and Marduk. Saw some interesting things. So, yeah, I don't know. This started off with a reading of Ovid, creation. Yeah, treat us like we treated her. Oh, we're in trouble. Tiamat was a good girl. Yeah, go and read the Enuma Elish, Tiamat and Marduk. Take a quick look here. Seven tablets of creation is the Mesopotamian creation myth. It was divided, yeah. So that's which one? That's an article. Wiki. Sacred texts. There we go. So in the height heaven was not named, and the earth beneath not yet bare a name, and the primeval Apsu who begat them, and chaos, Tiamat, the mother of them both. Their waters were mingled together. So there's Tiamat. And then there was Lamu and Lahamu were called into being. Let's see, where do we get to Marduk? Let's see, the battle. Here, let me share this with you. Tiamat was a good girl, that's right. Okay. What was that? There it is. I've got a lot of tabs open at the moment. Okay, let's get to let us lie down in peace. They banded together. At the side of Tiamat they advanced. They were furious. They devised mischief without resting day and night. They prepared for battle, fuming and raging. They joined their forces and made war. Amu-Herbur, Tiamat, who formed all things, made in addition weapons invincible. She spawned monsters, serpents. Maybe those are the creatures that we see littering the landscapes. Sharp of tooth and merciless of fang, with poison instead of blood. And we looked at the poison. She filled their bodies, fierce monsters, vipers. She clothed with terror, with splendor she decked them. She made them of lofty stature. Who beheld them, terror overcame him. Their bodies reared up, and none could withstand their attack. She set up vipers and dragons, and the monster Lahamu, and hurricanes and raging hounds, and scorpion men, and mighty tempests, and fishmen and rams. They bore cruel weapons without fear of the fight. Her commands were mighty, none could resist them. After this fashion, huge of stature, she made 11 kinds of monsters, among the gods who were her sons, inasmuch as he had given her support. She exalted Kingu. In their midst, she raised him to power, to march before the forces, to lead the host, to give the battle signal, to advance to the attack, to direct the battle, to control the fight. Unto him she entrusted. In costly remnant she made him sit, saying, I have uttered thy spell. I have uttered thy spell. In the assembly of the gods I have raised thee to power. The dominion over all the gods I have entrusted unto him. Be thou exalted. Be thou my chosen spouse. So her son is her spouse. May they magnify thy name over all the Anunnaki. She gave him the tablets of destiny. On his breast she laid them, saying, Thy command shall not be without avail, and thy word of thy mouth shall be established. Now Kingu, thus exalted, having received the power of Anu, decree the fate amongst the gods, his sons, saying, Let the opening of your mouth quench the fire god, who is exalted in battle. Let him display his might. So this may be a physical battle between creatures, maybe a representation of what's happening in the heavens. Let's see, we have to get to the point where, okay, here we are. No one can oppose her. We're looking for Marduk. Third tablet. There we go. There's Marduk. Okay. Talking about what she has done. How she spawns serpents and monsters. They prepare for battle, fuming and raging. They have joined their forces and are making war. Okay. Fourth tablet. Go and cut off the life of Tiamat, says the council. Okay, so he made a net to enclose the inward parts of Tiamat. Okay, let's go cut off the life of Tiamat and let the wind carry her blood into secret places. after the gods his father decreed for the Lord his fate. They caused him to set out on a path of prosperity and success. He made ready the bow. He chose his weapon. He slung a spear on him and fastened it. He raised the club in his right hand, and he grasped it. The bow and the quiver, he hung it at his side. He set the lightning in front of him. With burning flame, he filled his body. He made a net to enclose the inward parts of Tiamat. The four winds he stationed so that nothing of her might escape. The south wind and the north wind, and the east wind and the west wind, he brought near to the net, the gift of his father Anu. He created the evil wind and the tempest and the hurricane, and the fourfold wind, and the sevenfold wind, and the whirlwind, and the wind which has no equal. He sent forth the winds which he had created. Then the Lord raised a mighty thunderbolt, his mighty weapon. He mounted the chariot, storm unequaled for terror. Let's move on a bit. Okay. So his garment was unknown. He was clothed with terror. With overpowering brightness, his head was crowned. Then he set out, he took his way, and toward the raging Tiamat he set his face. On his lips he grasped his hands. Let's get to cried out their weapons. Okay, here we go. So, it was the winds that the gods of battle cried out for their weapons, then advanced Tiamat and Marduk. The council of the gods, to the fight they came on, to the battle they drew nigh. The Lord spread out his net and caught her, and the evil wind that was behind them let loose in her face. As Tiamat opened her mouth to its full extent, he drove the evil wind. While as yet she had not shut her lips, the terrible winds filled her belly, and her courage was taken from her, and her mouth she opened wide. He seized the spear and burst her belly. He severed her inward parts. He pierced her heart. He overcame her and cut off her life. He cast her down, her body, and stood upon it. When he had slain Tiamat, the leader, her might was broken. Her host was scattered, and the gods, her helpers who had marched by her side, trembled and were afraid, and turned back. They took to flight to save their lives, but they were surrounded so that they could not escape. So what was the fate of Tiamat? Let's see here. Let's go on. Let's see. Yes, here we go. Upon the troops of the devils who marched, he brought affliction, conquered, trembled. Okay. Let's see here. Might be on to the next tablet. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway. Donuts? I love stories. That's the Titans, Marduk, them kids of the Yankee, and little generation, yeah. Our shelters are full. Homeless, yeah. You fell asleep again. Nope, nothing out there. If someone back then saw a plasma discharge, they would make a story that fit their level of knowledge, gods, dragons, and such. Yeah. Or maybe they were smarter than we were and knew exactly what they were talking about. I don't know. The story fits, though. I like reading that. Now he set up the world was set up. Lord spared. Let's see if we can find that. Did homage. Okay. Let's see. He founded the station of Nibiru, the planet Jupiter. Let's see. He Marduk made the stations for the great gods. The stars, their images, as the stars of the zodiac, he fixed. He ordained the year into sections. He divided it. For the 12 months, he fixed 3 stars. After he had the days of the year images, he founded the stations of Nibiru to determine their bounds, that none might err or go astray. He set the stations of Bel and Ea along with him. He opened great gates on both sides. He made strong the bolt on the left and on the right. In the midst thereof, he fixed the zenith. The moon god he caused to shine forth. The night he entrusted to him. He appointed him. Being of the night to determine the days, every month without ceasing. With the crown he covered him, saying, at the beginning of the month, then thou shinest upon the land. Thou commandest the horns to determine 6 days, and on the 7th day to divide the crown. On the 14th day thou shalt stand opposite the half. And pertinent to discernment, how many times, how many ancients, and not so many tell a similar tale of creation. Exactly, yeah. Maybe they knew, but translation sucks. Maybe. Have to grow your own food? I agree, yeah. I don't have the area to. Right on. Glad you're growing your own food. Well, it's got to be dinner time for me now. We're almost at 4 hours. I'm a healthy dysfunctional. Nice. Yeah, all the creation stories very similar from a different perspective, but they all kind of show the same points over and over again. Well, I'm glad to have met you, Bay Area believer. Yeah, they saw the same phenomena in the heavens and on the earth. Yeah, the Gita has nukes, floating cities, flying machines. I have read that. Well, I've listened to it. Yeah. Very interesting story. The Vimana. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's all we've got for now. Much love to you all. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep your third eye open, use your intelligence and your intuition. Bye-bye.